100 Years of Solitude isn't just a book, it's an experience. And while I can't say that it is my all-time favorite book, because at the moment I have a serious issue with the word favorite, it is definitely a book that I hold near and dear to my heart. So when rumors started circling around that Netflix was making a series adaptation of the book, I was a bag of mixed emotions. A lot of people seemed excited about the idea. I wonder how many of those people actually read the book. I for sure am not at all excited about this move. It gets me a little bit upset that there's going to be a TV adaptation or a screen adaptation to this book. And I am sure that Gabriel García Márquez would probably not be on board either. So I first read the novel back in college in an independent study with Gustavo Arango. He is an author and a journalist, also a very good friend of mine. He was also Gabriel García Márquez's journalism student in El Universal in Cartagena, and has a lot to do with the publication of Gabriel García Márquez's last novel, In Agosto Nos Vemos. So fun fact on that last detail that I just dropped, Gustavo Arango was finishing up his latest work on Gabriel García Márquez called The Caribbean Troubadour. And in order to finish, he decided to go to the Harry Ransom Center in Texas, where all of Gabriel García Márquez's manuscripts are. And he came across what would ultimately be the novel In Agosto Nos Vemos. After he finished reading the manuscript, he felt that it should be published, and he wrote an article in defense of the publication of the novel in a very reputable literary magazine in Mexico called Confabulario. Anyway, so I read the book with him in an independent study, and the last chapter I remember was a read out loud. We read it out loud, and when we finished reading it, I just got this overwhelming sense of melancholy. I felt that Gabriel García Márquez had exposed me and that my life was somehow written in the story of the book. I saw my mom, I saw myself, I saw my cousins, I saw remote towns of Colombia outside of Cartagena that I had visited. So it was a very special moment for me. And that's part of the magic of 100 Years of Solitude. It isn't just a Colombian story, it's a universal story. The 7 generations of the Buendia family that carry across the fictional town of Macondo is a reflection of the cycles of love, power, and war. But it's also very deeply rooted in the Colombian Caribbean, which I have strong ties to. I've read the book several times, and each time has been a trip. So I have these images that I've created myself, and just the thought of some sort of special effects taking over what I have already thought of in my head, like, you know, the raining of the yellow flowers or Remedios La Bella ascending into the skies, just makes me cringe. And so here's the thing, Gabriel García Márquez wouldn't be on board with this either, and it's been very heavily documented. And just to be clear, film makes a very important part of Gabriel García Márquez's legacy. He participated in the screenwriting for various films. He was a film critic, and he was also the head of the Latin American Film Foundation in La Habana. He turned down countless offers to sell the rights of this novel. The book doesn't really have a lot of dialogue, and in an interview, and I'll post that interview in the description of this video, he said that he wrote 100 Years of Solitude against cinema. He wanted his readers to imagine the characters, to participate in the story by imagining the characters as their neighbors or family members, and not some imposed actor that somebody has chosen for you. So Netflix is going all out. They have chosen Ibagué as the filming location, and it is speculated to be the most expensive production in Latin American history. But like I just mentioned, there isn't enough money that you can throw to recreate the world that Gabriel García Márquez built for us in 100 Years of Solitude. And that's really my point. There are things that happen in Macondo that can only exist in our imagination. So Netflix can try, but for me and for many other people that have read the book, Macondo exists in an untouchable place in our hearts and in our minds. So as tempting as a Netflix adaptation of 100 Years of Solitude sounds, as much as you read that they have tried to make it as close as possible to the story, I am going to keep Cien Años de Soledad, 100 Years of Solitude, right where it belongs, in my heart and in my imagination. Gabriel García Márquez trusted us, his readers, to make the story our own, and that's something that no screen can ever replace. So that's it, and thanks for watching. I'd love to hear what you think about this Netflix adaptation. Are you looking forward to it? Do you have reservations like I do? Let me know in the comments. Thanks a lot for sticking by. Keep imagining, and I will see you in the next one.